Welcome to the Latina Jams podcast.
This episode, we will be reflecting on our experiences taking Dr. Washington's Race, Gender, Class, and Computing course.
There are a few questions we want to discuss. Why don't we get started?
So the first question we have is, what were you the most knowledgeable about before the semester?
For me, mostly because I took a class spring semester about this specific topic, I learned a large portion about biased AI and intersectionality and what those things really mean in today's world especially.
Yeah, similarly, I took Stats 199 last semester, and then we briefly touched on biased AI, so I knew a little bit about that, and then also, the Cesar Chavez hunger strikes because of, high school Latino studies classes that I took.
Yeah, I think being in CS, you briefly talk about biased AI, but we never really talk about it in depth, at least not as in-depth as we go over in this class. I took an ethics class, and we covered the Tuskegee trials, Henrietta Lacks, and other ways a person's identity impacted the way they were treated in healthcare. So I think it's really interesting to see that we were able to talk about this subject again and expand our knowledge on this.
That's true.
So what was, the most surprising thing that we learned?
I think for me, I was aware of how inaccessible the physical world was to people with disabilities, but I never gave much thought to how inaccessible technology can be.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I was also shocked to learn about the ways that modern and diagnostic technologies are still taken into consideration. A lot of racist tendencies in the medical field. It's worth noting that the issue is improving, but just the fact that it exists in the first place, with our technology today, it really bothered me.
Yeah, for me it was kind of similar to Jackie. I knew some of the disadvantages for people with disabilities, but it wasn't until I took the class where I noticed. I was oh hey, there really is no elevator here, or there are so many stairs, and just seeing how hard it really is to get around campus was eye-opening.
Yeah, after our lecture, I really started seeing how inaccessible my classroom materials were, and how difficult it is navigating the world for people with disabilities.
Yeah, same.
So how do you guys think your identity contributed to your prior knowledge, or lack therefore of?
Well, earlier we were kind of talking about how we all have similar backgrounds, being Latina, first gen, low income, and women in tech. So I think I definitely experienced tunnel vision in terms of what being a minority is and the experiences we have. But I think I can say for all of us that the class has made us more aware of the trials that other minorities might experience, which brings us into what challenged us the most about the class.
Yeah, and I feel I should emphasize that this is a good and beneficial challenge that made us even better than how we were prior to even enrolling in this class. In my opinion, it's extremely beneficial for everyone to look at and truly understand the identities of everyone else beyond just people that can relate to you. I feel in order to truly move forward in society, that's one of the most crucial steps we have to take, which is something none of us really thought of before.
I agree. I know for me, at the beginning of the class, all of the discussions we had, most of my answers were just focused on people that shared some aspect of my identity, but I saw that changing as we went through the course. So I think it is, like you said, Ashley, that's a good challenge, and it's been making us more aware. So how have you guys continued learning beyond this course?
Well, while I was taking this course, I reflected a lot about the material as we were learning and discussing it. I know I wanted to make a change somehow, but I think taking this course was sort of a wake-up call for me. It was sort of a go, that I felt one day. And so I got with my friends, and we had been dancing around this idea, but I told them, hey, I think this club could be really beneficial, and I think we should make it happen. And so then we founded Diversity Plus Plus, a club for Black and Latina individuals who want to make a lasting impact on what the future has in store for us. The organization, more like a family at this point, it made me truly aware of the fact that this course has had a lasting impact on me. It made me start an organization.
Yeah, for me, I've really seen this course being useful in my global health course, which focuses on the social determinants of health. And so trying to apply what I've learned in this course to my discussions in that class, and even vice versa. Sometimes my global health course has expanded my knowledge on the things that we've been learning in this class.
For me, it's been a bit simpler and more in the conversations I've had with people outside of the class. And I think it's kind of funny to see how some of the topics And these conversations have lined up with those that we've learned in class, such as like affirmative action. So it's been like an opportunity for me to like share my knowledge and to also hear what people outside of the class have to say about these things.
Yeah, and I guess that sort of ties us into our next question. What comes next for us after this class? Most definitely for me, I believe in improving diversity in our tech industry, one person at a time.
And on that note, like we're already starting now that we have our summer internships lined up.
Yeah, and the company we'll be working for has culture organizations that we can become a part of and help expand.
So I think I speak for all of us when I say that we're grateful to have been able to take this course and be made more aware of issues we didn't know beforehand. And with that, we would like to say
Thanks
for listening
to the
Latina
Latina
Gems
Gems podcast. Yeah, that was good. We can cut that.